gentlemen, welcome to Downtime in the Ring on the Drop Zone Network. This week, we are going to have an amazing review. We have gotten to see what Off the Ropes brought to Albuquerque in their first and probably biggest event, for now at least, Summer Brawl. Gino Rivera is here with us today. You have your regular host, me and Chris. Gino, how are you?
I couldn't be more on cloud nine than I am right now. It's definitely a better feeling than I had the day of the show, in which you saw firsthand how wrecked I was mentally. Right now, I can just definitely say that I am glad that it's over, but sad that it's over at the same time, So that's how I feel.
So, what went into that? And one thing that I have to say that from everybody that has seen the vlog that I post, that asked me, who aren't really wrestling fans, but asked me how it was, is the best way that I could tell them is any previous show I was a part of, like that I worked, or traditional indie wrestling, is a sellout crowd is 40 people. You had
Yes.
multiples of that. You went way beyond that. That me and Ricky, I believe
You're
that's
Ricky? Yep.
we were both kind of astonished when we were at the door having everybody come through. We were definitely surprised at the continuing amount. We didn't know the full number.
Yeah.
Congrats to you. What went into planning everything for Summer Brawl?
I mean, where do I even go with this story? I mean, let's just talk about let's just fast forward real quick. But as far as how many people were there at the show, we were at max capacity at a sellout with 267 people. And then the venue, they basically they asked me and they said, "Hey, can you open up more seats? Can you fit more people here?" And I was like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, man, bring them all. Let's shoot up to 350 people. And I was like, uh oh, okay, I guess. So I'm telling everybody, bring your family, bring your friends, bring the clowns, bring the circus, bring everybody. And literally, man, it was just a packed crowd. And I couldn't be more thankful for everyone's hard work, including yours, Don. But just the whole promoting of the show was just really good, really great. I'm on cloud nine. As far as like what went into planning the show, look, man, there's a few other schools in town, and I'm not going to mention them by name. I'm not going to give them any more clout and any more info than they already want. But there was a few guys here that's been controlling the territory of New Mexico for over 20 years, and those guys always had people under their thumb. They told people what to do. They did it. They listened. Companies were fearful of them, and I wasn't that guy. I'm a West Coast guy. I'm from California, and I'm not afraid of shit. Excuse my language, but we had a partnership for a few years, and things went south once they started canceling my classes and punishing my students for being petty. I just got tired of it, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna buy my own ring. I'm gonna sever ties, and I'm gonna do things my way, the right way, the correct way, and I'm gonna build the future. How I want and how I see it. So that's what I did. December of, I think, 2022, I believe. I'm not sure. Times are crazy, but I went and purchased a ring, and I got that started. We were free of any chains that were already tagged on and leashed to us, and then from there we started training, and we started hearing the whispers of those guys. They're just training just to train. They have nothing to do, nowhere to go. And I'm like, I'm a wrestler, and one thing you don't want to be is a local guy. You never want to just wrestle in one city, your hometown, and be like, all right, WWE is gonna find me. TNA is gonna find me. Impact Wrestling and AEW is gonna sign me. No, you got to create a buzz. You've got to go different places and start different fires so that when people hear your name, they go, yeah, that guy, I've seen him here. I've seen him there. Let's bring him in. A la your heroes and your punks and Samoa Joes and all these indie darlings that got around traveling, not being local heroes. That's what I was preparing my kids for. I was like, don't worry about wrestling in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Guys, go out of the country, go out of the state, go to the East Coast, go to the West, go to Florida. Don't worry about being the local hero. But we heard the whispers of like, oh, those guys, they can't even wrestle at home. They'll never be able to. They can't get a show off the ground. They can't do this. So I said, you know what? Watch me. And planning was, done in less than 2.5 months. We got a show off the ground, and as much as people didn't want to see it, and people called the athletic state commissions and try to ruin my show and try to beat up my sponsors, my venue owners, they try to sabotage the show as much as they possibly could. Again, I won't say their names because we're not giving any light to those folks. But I know what they did. They know what they did, and it didn't work because I had the power of positivity around me within my group. Just any negative things that happened, we just made it work. And then the event Summer Brawl was born, and we had that event, and it was the greatest thing ever. You know what I mean? It was something that was put together and with love, with positivity, and it was just the greatest thing ever. You know what I mean? I can't be more excited to just tell you guys how it all started from there. You know what I mean? It was definitely a lot of work and all that. So there
That's
was that.
insane. That's insane that like people would try like attempt to sabotage that. That's
Oh my
like,
gosh, you have no idea.
maybe I'm just naive to the business of clearly it's happened across multiple facets in the industry,
Yeah.
of course, but
What it is, it's more rivals. Everybody has a rival. Target,
oh
Walmart, McDonald's, Burger King. But
yeah.
there's no like sabotaging, I mean, you could say like
Oh whoa.
there's like Jack in the Box and I think Wendy's, who's like a savage on Twitter. Like they'll go at each other. You know what I mean?
Oh okay.
But this is
I
more
see.
vile stuff when you're messaging promoters and messaging sponsors and people saying you're going to beat them up under fake screen names and just really negative stuff to make that this show doesn't happen and doesn't go down. You know what I mean? It was just very, very, very disheartening and hurtful. But like again, through the power of positivity, nothing could stop that show.
And speaking of power of positivity, like considering how you sold out, and I saw it was 2 days, right? 2 days, 3 days before the event took place.
Yeah.
Yes.
So something like that. And I saw that, and now that I hear the numbers that you had just mentioned, I'm just like, well, how frequent does the WWE put a show out here, like particularly at the Santa Ana Star Center? You get a good flow of that, but something local,
maybe twice a year.
twice a year.
Twice a year.
Yeah, but like there's such a local love for it, and it like in Albuquerque they showed out. So like it's something different, and I enjoy that. Like hey, let's go to Albuquerque for a show coming up. It's like that. Just the thought of that alone makes me want to go to Albuquerque. Like whenever, aside from going to a concert or something like that.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
So
Absolutely. Look, man, this was my first show and we sold out my very first show. A lot of people around the state of New Mexico, even in the state of New Mexico, they don't know a sellout like that. And you could say like, to a local indie event, a promotion, hey, 30 people, we sold out. Yeah, that wasn't the case with me, you know what I mean? And we had no big names, no big draws, no huge freaking advertisements of any sort. It was just literally people want something new around Albuquerque. People want fresh talent, young talent, people that can actually wrestle, people that can talk, people that will engage with the crowd, people that are cool, people that are inspiring. and not just the same old 4 matches that they've been having for 30 years. Gets to a point where you can only watch Randy Orton versus John Cena so many times. You can only watch Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar so many times. Stone Cold versus The Rock so many times. You know, like, people want the fresh new talent. And that is what I provided to the city of Albuquerque. I'm giving them an option of, hey, we have badass women that can wrestle. Hey, we also have badass men that can wrestle. We also have a gender of their own. They can wrestle. You know what I mean? Like, we want to provide an atmosphere where we welcome the LGBTQ community, you know, to our events, because we have those people within our group. You know what I mean? From bi to you know, becoming or transitioning. You know, like, we have those people. We have people of different ethnic backgrounds, political views, and it's all welcomed here because we support each other. It's about wrestling. Nothing else matters besides wrestling. And that's what I've always supported at OTR. You want to come here? We will teach you how to wrestle. We're not here to, you know, oh, you're a fat guy. Oh, you're a skinny girl. Oh, you know, we don't do that here. We go, you're a damn wrestler, and we're going to build you into the best wrestler you can be. That's what people came to see. That's why we sold out. It was just such a loving atmosphere. I really wish everybody that couldn't be there were there just to witness it. The buzz in the air was awesome.
Nice.
It was unbelievable, man. That's all I can say. From the moment that I stepped through that gate to help you guys,
Thank you.
You guys felt like a family, and that was the thing that I was worried about driving up to Albuquerque that day. My poor girlfriend, she had to deal with all my nerves, was me worrying, what kind of locker room is this going to be? What kind of new environment am I stepping into from the one that I previously have been a part of? But you threw me off when you had everybody circle around and you introduced me, because I thought you were just going to be like, oh yeah, go talk to them. No, you put me in the center, and I froze, and I know I did because I was worried. Yes. I froze. Yes. I did.
Yeah, it's gonna get a lot worse for you, because we do this thing. It's a short little interview and training where you tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, we literally want to know who you are, the person. It's a vibe check, you know, and everyone here has, you know, we tell them our names, how old we are, why we want to be a wrestler, what are some things that you like outside of wrestling. It's just a short little interview that gets people to know you and find something in common, that, oh wow, you collect Hot Wheels, I do too, you know, whatever it is. It's a really good feeling, versus I know what it's like being tossed out into the wolves and going, hey, this is Gino. Anyway, he's the new guy. All right, so that, and you're just like, whoa.
Especially on a day
it's
like
very
that.
scary, very scary feeling. And I don't want you to feel like that. I want you to feel very protected and safe in my locker room, in my ring, around us. And yes, it's more like a family. We are a family. We have each other's back through the hard times, not just in wrestling. You know, I can give you a list of things that has happened with my students, you know, which is why Summer Brawl felt really tight, because we were rooting for each other. Nobody was going, oh, I'm gonna have a better match than you, or I hope you guys fail, I hope you guys suck. It was like, hey guys, follow that, go out there, bust your butts, I know you can do it. And every match just kept going up and up and up and up. And I was even afraid. I mean, being in the main event, I was like, I can't keep up with these guys. What am I gonna do to keep up with the kids that I trained?
Yeah.
How the heck does that happen? You know what I mean? So, and I was wondering if my coach, my trainers felt like that watching me wrestle. Me, I was just a nervous wreck throughout that show. And I'll let Dom tell it. But
okay, so you
sorry,
go, Chris.
sorry,
you go first.
We've
you go
been on
first.
this. We've been on this. Donovan had told me that when you first met him, he's like, "Are you sure you're not Samoan?" Because of how big he is and stuff like that.
Hey, he's a big dude, brother.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, I might look big in this little square that y'all see, but I'm not the biggest fella. But this dude came, and I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, and then he was all like,
"Hey, I get excited. I'm that guy around the tree like this."
Right? Yeah, and you're like, put him as security. I thought that was hilarious.
Because who's gonna want to mess with him? Who's gonna
Yeah,
want to mess with
yeah,
him as a security guard? And then when we turn this man into what we think we both probably
Yep.
will imagine, who's gonna want to step into the ring with this guy? They'd be crazy to. And then when he comes out, whether he's a good guy or a bad guy, you look at the guy, you see his size, and you go, now that guy might kick that other guy's butt in the ring. I'm excited. I'm staying for this. Or we put the flyer out and it's his face. They go, that guy looks like a, well, that guy looks like a monster. I want to see him rip that little guy to shreds. You know, it's,
yeah,
hey man, he came out there and he was just, and I was like, hello.
yeah. That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
So
I like
that's
that
the
ultimate.
that's the idea I got from, and I want to have you on the show. I know you're gonna listen to this, Ocean. I want
They
you to
all
come
will.
on. I
They all
want
will.
Ocean and Dante not together though, because I don't think I can handle that. After seeing how they act out of the ring, no, I don't think I can handle Dante and Ocean together. But
Yeah.
I definitely want you on, buddy.
Yeah.
It was interesting that day because even though everybody could tell that you're stressed, everybody could tell that your mind is going 1,000 miles an hour, you still pulled the time to talk to us, to give us the rundown. If any of us had any questions, you handled it perfectly, even though you kept telling us you had, you were this or that, you were a little worried, you couldn't think
Oh yeah.
straight. You
I
you did it great, man.
well, I thank you for noticing that. But there was also me in the locker room going, guys, don't talk to me right now. I can't even think. Like I cannot even. I have to use the bathroom. I lost my kids. What match is next? What time is it? Are we following our times? Hey, are you guys up? Hey, where's my gear? I lost my tape. Where's my boots? What do you mean this guy needs this? What do you mean my daughter needs to go to the bath? Like it was just so many things going on in my head that I was like, I just want to be a wrestler. I never signed up for this. You know what I mean? But this is the poison that I picked. You know what I mean? So, and I think I handled it okay. I did apologize to everybody. I was like, I am so sorry, guys, because you guys know that is not my demeanor to be that stressed. I am that wrestler behind the curtain that is laid back, mellow yellow. Like, you ready? Yep, I'm ready. You not nervous? No, I'm ready. Right? But then it's my show, and I'm like, ah! I'm just losing my mind, and it was just a different feeling. I didn't even feel like Gino Rivera. I didn't feel like Seville Alvarez, the human. I had an out of body experience where I was watching myself pace around, being prepared for my match, the main event. I couldn't even think straight. And I felt so bad for Gypsy. I was like, girl, you're going to have to help me because I heard you, but I didn't hear you, you know?
And that's somebody I marked out a little bit, seeing Gypsy get ready, because we've gotten to interview Brooke Havoc, and she put Gypsy over as one of the best opponents she's gone up against. So getting
Wow.
to see Gypsy in the face, and I was like, oh, she's horrifying. This is scary. She just has that cool demeanor, that cool, calm demeanor. And I was like, this is intimidating right here. And then she's actually just a really nice person. And I was like, well, all right, cool. But yeah.
Gypsy is a very, very tough broad. She comes from a very tough upbringing. And I'm not talking about, poor or loss of opportunity, meaning she grew up with all brothers. She was the only girl. So they toughened her ass up, and then, her dad is a Billy Badass, man. He's a tough guy, legit. Not only that, Gypsy had opportunities that were taken away from her as far as like everyone wanting to wrestle, and she was outed, because she was a girl. Hey, um, she applied at different schools and they would tell her, no, I don't want to train you, and she had to take that. There's nothing they could do, or nothing she could do. She just had to take that. So with that being said, like, she found me as a fan and she was like, look, no one wants to train me. Will you help me find a school? And I was like, I'll train you, and her being my first student, it's just me and her. And now we're moving around in the ring and I'm in my element where I'm like, I'm gonna teach this girl a little bit about wrestling. And then going from there to getting more students where it was like 10 and 20 at one time, all guys, try to look for girls. There was no girls that would, that were brave enough or tough enough to get in that ring at that time. And then just for literally since 2019 through 2023, it's been all men that she's wrestled. So all Gypsy knows how to do is kick some butt and get her butt kicked by men and fight men. So this girl has no fear. This girl has a big chip on her shoulder, as she should. And she has something to prove to the wrestling world, the indie wrestling world. She had something to prove to New Mexico that I was tough enough for this. And you guys made a mistake by telling me no. And since you guys told me no, I'm going to tell you guys, you should have. You effed up. You know what I mean?
It's insane. It got very emotional at the end of it. Both of your performances were amazing. That main event was perfect. I loved every second of it. Getting to hear from the crowd, from my girlfriend, her thoughts on it. She was very impressed that it was you against Gypsy. That Gypsy did get to get her flowers. Ultimately, it was a hell of a show. There's no way there. Yeah.
Man, she deserved that main event. She worked really hard over the years through injury. I actually kicked Gypsy Mac out of OTR for 9 months. On some wrestling business stuff where it was more like, hey, dude, you're not following protocol. You're not doing this. You're not taking care of business. You need to go. And I kicked her out for 9 months. She came back straight as an arrow, ready to bust her butt. This is a girl who was told no, who was kicked out of training, who was hurt during training, and she's still going, still busting her butt all around the country, traveling, wrestling men, wrestling big names, you know what I mean, getting great opportunities with AEW. I felt she had, she earned this spot, you know what I mean? So,
So speaking of Summer Brawl and everything that's been going on, are you going to be able to tell us when the next show is? Are we going to all have to wait?
So I want to say wait right now, but I can tell you right now, up until about 2 hours ago, I just had a conversation debating on the next show, and we're thinking more of a Halloween or a Christmas themed or even a Thanksgiving show. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Something of that sort. But we don't want to give away too many details right now. We're still in the works. I definitely want to keep this going. It was an awesome experience, and we're also thinking about Toys for Tots. We're also thinking about getting together with St. Jude and also donating some just toys to children that can help us with what we want to do. You know what I mean? It'll be a great cause, whatever we decide to do, whether it's Thanksgiving, whether it's Christmas. It will be fun for us. You know what I mean?
So Chris, I know you had one question for me. You want to ask him?
Yeah. So since I didn't attend the show, which I'm pretty sad that I did attend the show now. Man, that the story sounded crazy. I want to know, when I go to this next show, who should I be looking out for? Who would you say are your spotlights? You should see this guy wrestle, or who would you recommend out of some of your students that I probably would like to see at this next upcoming show?
Man, that's a really tough question. I'm gonna tell you right now, all of my students deserve that spotlight. But a man that works his butt off, man, is Ocean Avery. I mean, he's just a physical specimen. That guy wants it so bad. This is the guy that took a break from wrestling and came back with a vengeance. You know what I mean? That's one of my guys. I could go into details about all of my guys, but if I could just say, even Tomas Silva, that kid has stepped up. This is the guy that wanted to quit. This is the guy that was like, my body is not meant to do this in the ring. And for some reason, I don't know, when he was in that match, he kicked a lot of butt and his body was meant to do that, right? Yeah. I got a guy named Scott. I got Metal. I just, so many guys from OTR and girls that just kick butt. I really can't give you one name or else I'm going to get beat up by 12 guys when I get into training.
Oof.
But you definitely just look out for the brand OTR, Off the Ropes Pro Wrestling, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Stay tuned. I hope we can get something going in the works in the next few months.
So one thing that I was talking to my girlfriend about when we were coming home was, so I had made a vlog about the UFO Fest, and I had cut a promo on you about it, but I never posted it. I will never
Cheap.
post it.
Cheap.
I will never do it. I won't do it.
Cheap.
Yeah, but it was about, if I give you my dedication and I show you the work that I can do, what do we have to do to have at least one show that weekend? Having roughly about, I don't know, 30 to 40, Chris, would you say 1,000 people come to Roswell for the UFO Festival?
Yeah, I know quite a few people.
When is
Hopefully,
it?
too.
It's the first weekend of July. It's always the first weekend.
It's like 4th of July interlaced. Yeah.
That's with the amount of time you just told me, you can get something going like this.
Yeah.
I mean,
State Fair's coming up.
Huh?
State Fair's coming up.
State fairs are kind of rough. They don't treat us well.
Really?
State fairs don't really treat wrestling well. Look, man, it's kind of ironic, right? That wrestling was kind of a carnival thing. You know what I mean? If you really want to get into, details and old school wrestling,
Yeah.
wrestling was like, hey, come see the this guy versus this guy, George Hackenschmidt versus this guy, Frank Gotch, whatever. Like you would see them at a carnival, and it was fun.
Mm.
Nowadays, the state fair, it's more of like, oh, and there's that wrestling thing going on over there, and they're far in the corner where nobody can see them. And yeah, it's just state fairs aren't really nice. I would love to work a state fair. Trust me, the Albuquerque State Fair, I would love to get a ring going in there. You know what I mean? The problem is, you need revenue, and state fair, they pay at the door. I'm not really sure how the state fair would even, how much money they'd be willing to even help with running an event like that. So I'd rather do it with, places that would do it, like festivals like the Balloon Fiesta. That's something that's on my mind. Like, man, why wouldn't they put a giant wrestling ring while people are blowing up their balloons in the middle of that to just hold attention?
It's illogical, Like,
and that is global. That's not a state thing. That's a global affair.
Yeah.
How awesome would it be to see wrestlers at 6 a.m. wrestling, even 4 or 5 p.m. at in the morning,
as they're blowing up their balloons,
as they're blowing their balloons up. I mean, a ring and balloons are just going up, and people are getting not viral, but sky views of whatever we're wrestling in, drinking their hot cocoa, freezing as the guys are freezing in their underwear and boots or whatever. But that's something that would be more of a get to me than like a state fair. But the Roswell thing, man, I am obsessed with freaking aliens and UFOs and all that. Don't get me started. That's gonna be another 5-hour conversation.
Yeah.
But look at my fingers. They look like aliens anyway. My brothers used to tell me I was an alien growing up. I would cry. Anyway, but yeah, man, that would be something great to have. And especially with, you just told me July, that's not even a problem, dude.
Yeah, I got all excited. I got excited. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna cut this promo. Never showed it. Never will. Nobody asked. I'm never gonna do it. But
man,
we in the video, we usually have a light parade. In the past couple of years, it'll bring about maybe 300-400 people. It brought roughly over almost 2,000 people just for a 30-minute parade that really wasn't that good. Just imagine what you could pull.
Oh yeah, I wrestled in the streets in Los Angeles in front of a Rite Aid, where they put a ring in the middle of the intersection. It drew so many people. I gotta say, at least 1,000 people were there.
Yeah, and on top of that, like, we don't even have a fireworks show anymore. Like, how many years?
Yeah,
we don't even have a fireworks show on 4th of July anymore. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we literally have just the UFO festival and to hold us over.
So I would have to get in touch with really important people there, the mayor, the governor, whatever, whoever that would allow something like that. Yeah, the Athletic State Commission would allow it, but it's more so of a
Local.
whoever in the city would they approve me of doing this at their festival. It's a lot of kinks that we got to kind of unkink, you know.
We have a
They
lot of
allow
people on the.
Dwarfinators.
We have a lot of people on the inside. We'll talk about this later on.
We need to talk.
We will talk about this. We know a lot of people on the inside.
Oh heck yeah.
Overall, if you could describe Summer Brawl in one word, what would that be?
I could definitely say when I think of Summer Brawl, I'm gonna use the word exciting. Because the word exciting to me meant I was excited for the show to start. I was excited for the show to end. I was also excited to see what would go wrong. What would happen? What's the problem? You know, what would there was so many things that really tried to stop the show, guys. There was literally again, people threatening to ruin the show, to come to the show, to start fights, to call the cops, to shoot guns in the air, beat up my venue guy, you name it. And I was just excited, like, good, bring them. Let's see them try to do that. Let's see them try to ruin something so wonderful for not
like
just
it.
me, not for my students, but so wonderful for our community, which if you guys know, you live in New Mexico, we are one of the I think it's the third highest crime state and poorest state, one of the poorest states in the country. We need this for our community. We need hope. We need our people to look forward to something other than just going to Walmart and working a 9 to 5. Like we need them to go, you know what? If I work really hard, I can do that too. Or hey, you know what? My life's down in the dumps. I need something to look forward to. I guess I'm gonna try and live out my dream. And to see so many families of all different, gosh, we had white people, black people, Mexican, oh my God, you name it. We had so many wonderful families attend the show, so many smiling faces. I was just excited that they were there to share that experience with me. Excited in a good way, excited in a bad way. Overall, Summer Brawl, the word excitement comes to mind when I think back to it.
I think that's the best way to say it, honestly.
Absolutely.
I can't think of anything better to say to that.
I wish I could relive all that again. And I can, and I will, because I plan on doing more shows. But I wish I could relive that night over again. If there was something I could tell myself and pull myself together and say, self, Gino, you're going to be okay. Just run the show. You're going to be all right. Don't stress. Everything's going to be fine. The main event's going to go great. The opening's going to go great. The people are going to enjoy their time. The venue is going to be happy. The Athletic State Commission is going to be overjoyed. Just breathe. I wish I could have told myself that. And there was a lot of people telling me that, but I needed to tell myself that. Nobody in the world could have done that better than myself. And again, that was probably one of the best nights of my life because of all the hard work everyone put on that show. You name it, from my family to my friends to my doctor to security to my students, referees, venues, bartenders, you name it. It was one big happy family, one big joy, one big ball of joy, man. God, I love that day.
So what are you going to do with the footage?
So we're going to upload that for free. You know what I mean? Why would I make anybody jump on a site and pay for that? You know, like, yeah, I can make some money on the side of that, but you know what? I've made great memories, and that's better than money can ever provide me. And I'd like to share those memories with my community, my family, my friends, the wrestlers, the fans. I want everybody to see that night. I want people to witness what they could have sat there in person to see and go, you know what? Darn it. I'm going to go to the next show and I'm going to enjoy myself just like they did. And that's what I want to provide. So that's what I'm going to do with the footage. I will be uploading it. Actually, I think I got a message saying that they got half of it uploaded. It takes some time, but we'll get it all up there, you know? So definitely free of charge. The only thing I want you to pay with is a smile. That's it. And go, that was cool. That was fun. When's the next show? We want to be there.
Well, definitely, I want to bring him the next time that we have a show because
Oh, you better, or I'm gonna drive there and drag that man out of that room, hog tie him, and put him in my trunk and say, "We're going, buddy."
I guess I deserve a chop for that. Just
I don't
tally up
chop
the
my
chops
students.
now.
I let
bro,
the
you
students chop
don't
each
want to
other.
get chopped by Ocean. That sound did not sound good, man.
That's why I let them chop each other. I don't chop my students. I let them chop each other.
Ugh.
That's it.
Yeah, Ricky was telling me about that. He was like, initiation. I hope you're excited. It's
It is.
Ocean.
Yes.
No.
Initiation is more about how tough you are, and you will be running the ringer going through, meaning you will be learning how to shoot before you learn to work.
Yeah.
And you'll be shooting with all of those guys, and also the initiation chops, man. It's something we've all done. I've done it. Everyone's done it, from the girls to the guys to the smallest to the biggest guys. Like, it's a welcome to the business, kid, and it's not a haze. It's more of a, how tough are you? How will he be back tomorrow or the next training day? Do you really want this as much as you say you do? A lot of people talk about it. You got to imagine, I've trained over 50 to 60 people, and I'm down to 20. And imagine how many people I've seen come and go, right? And they've all told me the same cliche answer, right? I've always wanted to do this. This is my dream, until they take that first bump in the ring and they go, yeah, not for me. I'm going back to freaking McDonald's. I'm going back to my desk job, cubicle, whatever. This is a really hard business to understand, to love, and keep going once you're in it. But moments like Summer Brawl was all you need to know, hey, there are some good feelings that come from this business. And if I love this business, it'll love me back in ways that I never knew. Guys, I'm traveling the world on somebody else's dime, and I'm living out of a suitcase with my hooker boots and my spandex, and I'm literally enjoying this wonderful industry. You know what I mean? And I believe I want to share that same moment and passion with everybody else. You guys don't understand how many students hugged me that night of Summer Brawl and said, thank you. And I said, you don't have to thank me, thank yourself. You did this. This was your hard work. And if you never found me, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you'd go somewhere else and find this, but I'm just the guy that opened the door and said, come on in. You know what I mean? You found me first. That's all it is. You made this happen. And anybody that attends OTR, anybody that attends a show and goes, I want to train to do that, I welcome them with open arms, because wrestling is for everybody.
That made me emotional. Because I didn't think I honestly didn't think that I was ever gonna get another chance. After
You know what? I sell patience. I tell everybody that whenever they sign up to OTR, the biggest thing I can sell you is patience. I'm a very patient man. And you're not here to get things done in 2 months and we're like, all right, here's a WWE contract. You're here to mess up almost religiously. You know what I mean? You're here to fail almost every day. And it's my job to keep you going and pick you back up and go, yes, you can. You know what I mean? I've got tons of students right here. A lot of those students at Summer Brawl have been training with me from 6 months to a year before they made their debut. Meaning I think 2 or 3 guys trained with me for a year before they had their first match. Took me 6 months to have my first match, but them a year. And you got to understand how hard that was for them, because they wanted to wrestle so bad. And I held them and I said, nope, you're not ready. You're not ready, until I said, you're ready. And when they went out there, everyone looked like they belonged and they were ready. And I don't think for once those guys were mad at me going, you held me back, or you should have let me go. I think they go, it was the right time. And I'm glad we did this. But again, you are allowed to fail. You're allowed to have a strike, a second strike, a third strike. You know, there is no, you're out of here. It's keep going, keep swinging, keep going. You're going to be fine. And I love that about the business, because I was never given a whole lot of chances. I was kicked out of training. I was kicked out of schools, kicked out of the industry at one time. And I had to prove myself, you know, and I don't ever want to make anybody feel that way. So again, you're allowed to strike out with me. I sell patience. You're gonna be fine training with Gino Rivera.
Damn, that even made me more emotional. Shit. You
Yeah,
know
man.
how to talk. That's all I can say. You know how to
Hey,
talk.
man, it's because I've been through things. I've been through a lot in the industry and in life, and I just know what I want said to me. I know what I want to feel, and the things that I've had done to me, I never want anybody else to experience. You're too small, you're too fat, you're too skinny, you're too black, you're too white, you're too Asian, you're too Mexican, you don't speak English, you like Trump, you like George Bush, whoever. You listen to rap music, you listen to country music, you come from a small town. Doesn't matter. When you're in that ring, if you've got this, if you got heart, dude, what what's the problem? You have a heart, you're breathing. You have a heart, we're all breathing. That's what you need to succeed and to strive in this business. You don't need anything else. If you want it, you want it. And that's our saying here too, is like, how bad do you want it? When you're in a lot of pain, when you're sweating, when you're about to give up, we always ask, how bad do you want this? I want this bad. Show me. Show me. My coach did it with me. How bad do you want it, Gino? And I was like, I want it more than anything in the world. None of these guys here have more heart than me, coach. And well, show me something, Gino. You got it. And I did. And I'm the only one still going from my class 1, Santino Bros Wrestling in Los Angeles, 2008. I'm the only one still going 15 years later. Everybody else quit, failed, died, went to jail, hate the business, chose another option. I'm still here, striving. I kept going. I kept swimming.
So, what was the most eye-opening match for you at Summer Brawl? Who do
The
you think
pre-show.
the
Easy answer.
pre-show? It was
Pre-show.
good. It was good.
I was more intense and stressed and scared that match because it was my first match presenting to the crowd. How will they react to this? Two green kids. For those that don't know what green is, it's just a guy that has very little training. These guys have more than 6 months training, but one of them has a year. The other one has a little under 6 months, a little over 6 months. You can say that. And I was just a nervous wreck. I was like, oh my gosh, this can make me or break me. You guys screw this up, they're walking out of here. I need you guys to go out there and bust your butts. You know what I mean? I've had these guys practice this match almost every single day. And every day they got it. But as you know, wrestling is live. You're in front of a crowd. All these eyes and cheers and boos and family. You get nervous and you can either hurt yourself, hurt your opponent, or worse, you could die in there, right? It was a make or break, and it was definitely something that was more, hey, you guys got to go out there and kick some butt. And that was probably my favorite match of the night, was the pre-show, because I was so happy. I was like, they got it. I was clapping louder than anybody. I was like, they did it. They did it. Yes, yes, yes. I was so happy. Congratulations, Jason. Congratulations, Marco. You guys did amazing. I'm so happy with you guys.
They did. The finish. The walking around, taunting the choke slam into a roll up, perfect. Couldn't have done it any better.
Yeah, definitely. It was Marco. He got cocky. He had him down. He could have pinned him 1, 2, 3. Instead, he pulled him up by the hair and he says, "No, no, no. Who wants him? You guys want him? I'm gonna choke slam him into the crowd." He thought he could do I think it was a Bam Bam Bigelow and Spike Dudley. I thought he could throw him into the crowd and get a count out win. You know what I mean? Which cost him his butt. So he picks him up. He goes to throw him. He's like, no, no, no. He picks him up. He tries to throw him this way. He's like, no, no, no. Okay, I'm going to throw him this way with all the people so we can take out everybody. He goes to throw him, and all of a sudden, slides down his back right between his legs. He hooks him 1, 2, 3, and El Mero lost, and that costed him his debut match. When you make mistakes, you know what I mean? What do you expect? It set the tone of the night. You always want to have a first match that's a banger, but you also want to have a match that, like, hey, you know what? That was a feel-good moment, and that was exciting. What else is going to happen on the show? And I'm very proud to have produced that match, to be an agent for that match, to make sure that that match didn't go off without anything bad happening. You know, it was great.
You had a lot of different styles. So you had them, which was kind of like, you know, old school wrestling. Then you had JKM and Dante King, who just put on a banger
Clinic.
of yes,
Every
100%.
every wrestling move available, they did.
Yes.
That's
And
it.
and then you had Ocean, who is still scary, put on kind of just a rough, hard hitting, bare knuckle kind of match again.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Those
tons
are
of
the strong
slaps.
boys.
Yeah.
Those are the strong boys, the guys that were like, hey, I'm gonna hit you as hard as I can, and good, because I'm gonna hit you harder than you've ever felt in your life. And that was their match. That was one that was a scary match for me because I've had doctors and AMTs around, and I said, you need to watch this match. This might not be for everybody. And I'm glad both men
Viewer
are
discretion is
here at
advised.
training today in one piece.
And then
Yeah.
he had Colt, the last American hitchhiker, versus who's the gentleman he went up against?
Rad Arcade.
Yes. That was a little bit of a fever dream, I'll have to be honest on that one.
That is what we call in the wrestling industry a let me up moment. For those that don't know what that is, it's more so we had a serious match. Now we need something fun, right? You get the Flash Funks, you get the Funkadactyls, you get the Brodus Clay, and gosh, I can't even name the our truths of the world. You know what I mean? They just had, I don't know, The Miz and Baron Corbin go on, you know what I mean? And now they need a different turn in the match. And that's what we needed. We needed that turn of like, hey guys, I know you guys saw some violence, but guess what? Now it's time to have some fun, you know, and that's what I provide on my cards, different matches. That was one of them. Highly enjoyed that one.
And then Thomas Silva versus it's Scott, correct? The Poison Jester?
Joe Scott, the Poison Gesture.
Yeah.
Both men are heavy-handed son of a guns, man, and they don't pull any punches. These guys lay their things in, and they go for broke when they're in there. They want to win. They want to show how tough they are. Tomas Silva has been traveling from Arizona to Texas to Colorado. Joe Scott is from New Mexico and looking for a resurgence, you know, in the wrestling industry. He was training elsewhere, didn't really work out with him. He came to me. This is where he fits. This is where he belongs. He enjoys being here and doesn't want to ever leave. But I enjoy that too. And I thought these two really were the hidden ingredient in something that tastes really good. I really, really thoroughly enjoyed their match.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a strap match, to be honest, for at one point. And I was really confused.
Betty is what it's called. So
Yeah.
Tomas Silva has a belt called Betty. I can't get into any details on why he calls it that. I don't want him to show up at my doorstep. But that man has a secret weapon, and she's called Betty. And that's really all I've got to say about that.
Now, I think we need to give you the props for the main event. You put every style of wrestling from both of you trying to see who loves who more. The crowd loves Gypsy Mac, which was very apparent, to you trying to get some love, and the crowd loved Gypsy Mac.
Yeah, you ever heard those sounds where it's like you,
Yeah.
you. That's pretty much what it was. It was hey, they love me out here. What do you say? Boo! And that was a surprise because I had my family in the crowd. I had my friends, my fans. Where the hell were they? You know, and then Gypsy Mac, her selfish way, just stands up in my ring and puts her arm out. And before she even gets to the top to say, guys, come on, they blew the roof up there. They blew the side doors off the building, and there weren't even side doors. But they just love Gypsy Mac. This is her hometown. She's from Las Vegas, New Mexico, and they got to see their hero, which is ironic because not all heroes wear capes, right? And not all heroes are guys. Sometimes they're women in beautiful makeup and long hair. And you had guys that are built and gangsters, and you name the demographic from 18 to 35, from freaking 18 to 2, 3 years old. They were chanting Gypsy. They were cheering for Gypsy. They were excited. This was her night. This is her welcome home. This is her WrestleMania.
It felt like that. It felt like this was all dedicated to her in some way, shape, or form. This all was brought down for just her. But there was one part of the match that I love the most, and it's not what most people enjoyed, but I thought it was a great spot. You pull her out of the ring. Everybody's clearing the first, second, and third row. You're about to throw her into the chair. And then just as quickly, you throw her back into the ring and get us all excited for nothing. That was perfect.
Compliments to the chef. I did that in Los Angeles one day. There was a lady holding, well, not holding, but she had a cart with twins. And her husband was one of the personnel backstage, and she was in front row. And I remember saying, I'm going to make this lady move all of her baby blankets, her bottles, you name it, just out of the way. And I'm going to throw the wrestler back into the ring and make her get up for no reason. It's going to piss her off. And I did, and I succeeded. So I've been doing that about 12 years now. And no matter what crowd it is, no matter what state, the demographic doesn't matter. When I say move, they scatter, throw them back in the ring, and now they're pissed because they're like, you jerk, you know I have 4 kids that I got to pick up everything. You know what I mean? And it's really, as a dad, I would be pissed off myself. I'd be like, this sucker, what is this guy thinking, huh? So it works every time. Compliments to the chef.
Bro, he made the elderly move.
Oh, wow.
He
Don't
made
care.
the
Savage.
elderly move. And
Imagine
that show now. Dang.
Imagine that. Knowing Gino Rivera, the character, he has so many tricks up his sleeve, so many things, so many ways to beat you, so many ways to mind F you. I thoroughly enjoy being Gino Rivera. It's a lot of fun, but it's also scary at the same time.
Gino Rivera also tried to pull some shystiness in this match.
You watch your mouth.
He tried to pull some shystiness using not only brass knuckles.
Never.
But was there baby powder in that match?
No, I think somebody had one of them strawberry, what do you call it? What do you call it with the strawberries on top of that thing they deep fry?
Funnel cake?
Funnel cake. You know what I mean? Somebody tried to throw a funnel cake at me and I went, I don't know what you're talking about, buddy. And brass knucks, I'd never. You know what I mean?
Chris,
That's illegal. That is a felony in the state of New Mexico, sir.
He got super kick partied into the end of the match. That's how the best way to say
it. The referee?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's still there trying to find his teeth right now.
Yeah.
So poor guy. I hope he has a good dental plan.
Ugh.
Overall, as we begin to wind down, what are your next plans? Not what a date is, but what do you deem as your next plan? Are you going to try and bring somebody out of state, a different name to go up against your class? What is your next plan for this next show?
So the next plan is obviously, look, I've worked for the WWE. I've worked for AEW. I've done TV. I hold like 8 championships around the country today. I'm a 19-time champion, 15 years in this industry. I've wrestled big names, little names, green guys, legends, you name them. I've sold every ounce of merch. I make merch. I'm a wrestler. I'm a promoter. I've done everything there is to do in this industry. And I said I'd never become a promoter. I'd never do another show again. I was like, no, I will never do another show. Right now, the main goal is to do another show. I need to go. If you thought we were done, we're back, right? And I want to do, I imagine, of course, I do want to do something for Toys for Tots and stuff like that, and also for the hospitals and to give back to my community. But something sits in the back of my mind, and it's more of a kind of like a dojo wars thing, school versus school, trainer versus trainer, or women's wrestler versus, I don't believe in just women wrestling women. I believe women, Ronda Rousey can knock me out, probably you two out as we stand. There's no girl in the world that, can't knock out a guy. If they really want to, I don't know. But I just want to probably do, I'd say dojo wars. I want to find a school and, Albuquerque or Team New Mexico versus Team Arizona, Team Texas, Team Colorado, Team Utah. You know what I mean? Almost like a invasion of some sort. I don't know. I don't know. I think that would be great. You know what I mean? And we're here for it. If the community wants to see that, I know this. I know New Mexico. We're very prideful. We love this town. We love this state. We love the people. We love the food, the culture. Now imagine if some outsider from Texas decides to come on in and try to F with us. I don't know. I don't think anybody is going to make it out of Albuquerque. You know what I mean? So good luck with that. But that's something maybe could be in the works down the tube. I don't know. Gino Rivera's always got something up his sleeve, whether it's powder, nuts, or the dojo wars. I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Gino, how can everybody get a hold of you? Most importantly, how can everybody get a hold of the school, and where can they watch these matches?
Guys, you guys can get a hold of me on every single social media app available at Gino Toldyouso, one word. I am actively on it, literally religiously promoting, pushing, booking, pushing other people, content, giving advice, you name it. Always accepting new students as well. So again, on all social media platforms at Gino Toldyouso, one word. As far as my school, you can definitely Google or YouTube it. You just type in OTR, Off the Ropes Pro Wrestling, New Mexico, and it will pop up. And all the ways to contact me, Gino Rivera. You're talking exclusively to me, and I will get you in touch. I will pick out a day for you and sit you down for an interview and see if we can get you to chase your dreams or of some sort. So please, guys, follow me, at me, start a conversation, comment, like, share, comment on my posts, whatever it is. Just make sure you say hello. I respond back.
All right, Chris, any final thoughts?
No. I keep reiterating this, but I'm going to go to the next show. I don't care if I have to call out sick or not. I'm gonna
call your boss.
show. Oh,
I'm calling your boss. I'm like, yeah, he can't make it. He's throwing up. He's throwing up everywhere. I'm sorry. I'm dumb. He can't even talk right now.
Yeah. No, I love that wrestling just brings everyone together. Like it's the one thing that I know for a fact that like me and Donovan shared a bond through wrestling. That's really like the premise of it. When I went to the Royal Rumble by myself, I was able to talk to just a completely different stranger from the East Coast, me being from the South. Like, hey, who do you think is going to win the Royal Rumble? And we just have an entire thing. I love that. I love the connectivity of that, the family orient of that. And I really I'm kind of low key jealous that Donovan got to feel that firsthand, that family love firsthand. So I'm really excited. Excited to see what you're gonna come out with next. So
I'm excited. I'm cooking up a storm up here, and soon you guys will be able to smell what I'm cooking, man. It's gonna be fun.
He can be your other video guy. He can be your other videographer.
Man, I would love that. I would love that.
My girlfriend can help with Photoshop because it seemed like you really liked that picture.
I do. I've been
Just-
trying to figure out Photoshop for the longest time, and I can't figure it out. So,
She
but
did.
just send,
She did
just send me your poster for the next event, and I can make a commercial.
look at that, easy. Hey, you guys got jobs and opportunities right here in OTR. Just let me know how I can help you help yourself, and how you guys can help me. So, yeah, we got you covered, guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. As of this recording, we are recording on Wednesday. This is Saturday when you guys are watching this. As of Tuesday, the 22nd, I will be stepping back into the ring and listening to everything this gentleman has to say. No fighting it. I am going to take you guys on with me. So hopefully you guys will be part of the vlog crew as you guys get to see life in OTR. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Also, Ocean, I really want to interview you.